not to know she's the prettiest girl in the whole wide world. She'll always bring a smile to your face. She has a twinkle in her eye, always laughs, never cries. She's a little bit quiet, a little bit shy. That's the prettiest girl in the whole wide world.
911, when's the address of the emergency? 709 Wagner Drive. Okay, the fraternity house? Yes. Where is it? Calm down. Take a deep breath. Okay, now what happened? Where's the spare bedroom of the house? Yes. Somebody just opened up the door, and there's a dead girl inside of it. Okay. You sure that she's dead? Oh, yes. Okay, stay on the line with me. Do not hang up.
I remember him saying to me, "Do you have a daughter, Samantha Spady?" And I remember all the life that you have just being sucked out of you at the time. Because I knew he wasn't there to tell me that she won the lottery. I knew that there is only bad news.
These are the faces of the young men and women we've lost in just the past few years. The story of Samantha Spady is the story of one family's tragedy, but also a story about one of the great contradictions in American society, that the institution of university is a place where our best and brightest can flourish, is a place that often contains a code of conduct that destroys or diminishes the lives of thousands. As simple and as unremarkable as death by alcohol sounds, it's killing thousands of our best and brightest every year, and there are few signs that this epidemic is coming to an end.
Come on, Samantha, come up here. What are you? A pretty ballerina. Okay.
I just like, from the start, I thought Sam Spady, that'd be a great name for a gal.
There may be few other parts of the world that compare to the values and lifestyle of America's heartland. This is a place that seems to promote its own ideal of decency, of a humble and solid work ethic, not a place for the vain and self-absorbed.
And I remember laying in the hospital after giving birth to Sam, her being a girl, and thinking, I don't have to do this anymore. I've got a boy and a girl. It was the perfect nuclear family.
It was here in the southeast corner of Nebraska, in the city of Beatrice, that Rick and Patty Spady chose to raise their young family. Rick bought an auto dealership here and became one of the more prominent businessmen in town.
And I worked a lot of hours. I mean, I can get away with a lot less hours now, but you have to, because we didn't have any excess cash. We borrowed everything, and you had to work a lot of hours to get things done.
From her earliest years, Sam seemed poised to capitalize on the many advantages she had. Somewhat shy, she was a healthy and well-adjusted young girl, growing up in a prosperous family, insulated and nurtured in the protective cocoon of the heartland of Nebraska.
She was a very easy child to raise because she, wasn't a fussy child. She wasn't loud and boisterous, wasn't ornery. She was just a quiet child that loved to sit and draw.
You didn't catch her watching TV or just sitting around. She's either drawing or, something to do with the sports in school. She was always moving.
Pretty, and with the budding flair of a natural leader, Sam was soon drawn to cheerleading, a prestige activity for girls in a community where the cultural center of gravity is often sports, particularly football. Sam found a niche here.
1, 2, 3, 4. Together we will fight, and together we will win.
When she tried out for cheerleading and going out in front of the crowds and having to perform, I think gave her a sense of confidence, gave her a sense of who she was, because she absolutely loved cheerleading. And I think that kind of started to bring her out of her shell.
Sam also held down part-time jobs at a video store and at McDonald's. At Beatrice High School, she was succeeding as well, becoming a member of the National Honor Society and ultimately captain of her cheerleading squad. By the time Sam graduated high school in 2003, she had reached the upper rungs of the social ladder in Beatrice. As class president, she was seemingly on a path that would guarantee success. If there were shadows in her life, they were hardly visible. Before she left for college, there was nothing to indicate that Sam's interaction with alcohol was a problem. Rick and Patty recall a couple of minor incidents, but nothing unusual for a girl her age.
I just remember Sam coming home and been to one of her friend's house, and her parents were gone, and they got into some liquor or something. You could tell Sam it was the first time she'd ever tried anything, and I'm thinking she was in 9th or 10th grade.
Sam didn't, she wasn't the party queen, and I think that episode was a real wake-up call for her, because it wasn't fun vomiting, and it certainly wasn't fun feeling that way the next day.
The episode would do little to slow down the gathering momentum of this young achiever. After graduation, there was a small scholarship at Colorado State University in Fort Collins. Colorado was close enough to home, but far enough away for Sam to assert her growing independence.
She loved it there because she loved the mountains, and what was really exciting to her was different people. And she wanted to go away where she'd meet new people.
America's universities are both a snapshot of society at large and a laboratory of the future. It's on campuses like these that society's trends and taboos are teased out and magnified. Our love-hate relationship with alcohol is no exception. And the combination of alcohol, newfound freedom, and post-adolescent hormones is often a volatile mixture.
Sure, it's the best bar. There we go. There we go.
College is all about drinking. Binge drinking at that.
I go to school all week, and then he picks me up on Thursday afternoon, and I spend 72 hours straight getting drunk. And then I go back to school for 4 more days. Then I repeat the cycle all semester long, all year long, all college long.
Drinking seems to go hand in hand with certain parts of university culture, particularly at the confluence of sports and some organized social groups like fraternities and sororities. Much of it is responsible and legal, but it seems the line between what's safe and what becomes dangerous or even deadly is blurred. It is an enduring mystery of American universities that as much as they are institutions committed to physical and academic excellence, here you also find the seeds of destruction for many of their young students. Most big universities can boast dozens of programs aimed at curbing the crime and health consequences associated with binge drinking, yet the problem persists.
If you want to go out and get wasted, you can go out and get wasted. That's for sure. But most time, it's not going to be as much fun if you plan for it to be a certain way. It's not going to turn out that way.
Kelly Doyle is a student in Nebraska and a childhood friend of Sam Spady's.
A lot of college kids' activities are based around alcohol. And yeah, you might have one bad night where you go out and get wasted and you feel like crap the next day, but you don't feel that way, the next week. And hey, if a bunch of your friends are going out, might as well go out and do it too.
Yeah. Doyle highlights what a lot of parents and experts have been warning, that there's often an incentive for young women at college to drink, and to drink hard.
Most people are very insecure these days, and to have them have a girl beat out a guy, you're going to get some props for that.
But now it's almost like last man standing is the big winner of the night. And that's what scares me, because I think it's attitudes and behaviors towards alcohol that has changed so dramatically over the last few years.
But there are some girls who can drink. And I mean, it's what your body can handle. Every person's different.
Dean Beers is a deputy coroner in Larimer County. He oversaw the forensic investigation into Sam's death and uncovered some disturbing things about campus drinking culture.
Several things I heard from other females that I interviewed directly related to this case were that a common thing to do was to drink until you puke and pass out. And also, one of their favorites to drink was flavored vodka, one for the taste, and the other is there was a belief that you wouldn't gain weight drinking hard liquor versus beer.
As a mom, I can guarantee you I was totally unaware of those. And had I known, there definitely would have been some intervention of some sort, because drinking to the point where you're throwing up is just not, number one, healthy, safe, and it's not, I don't think it's the way Sam wanted to live her life.
And I could be wrong, but I don't think Sam was going out and getting, into the state that happened that night all the time. But I think that she went to parties, and obviously she got in trouble that night.
In early fall of 2004, Sam was back in Fort Collins, getting ready for her sophomore year. She'd spent the summer back in Beatrice, and out of the many possible career choices she talked about, there was now talk of following in Rick's footsteps at the dealership. Sam was now a business major at CSU.
People liked her real well, and that's a key component to be successful in the automobile business is you have to be able to get along with people.
Sam was probably also feeling the excitement of reuniting with friends she hadn't seen all summer. And on September 4th, she was looking forward to a day of socializing and partying.
She went to a party to watch the CSU game.
The annual football game between the University of Colorado and Colorado State University is one of the biggest sporting and social events of the year. Tailgating and all-day keg parties are part of the ritual. Sam and her friends, of course, had several parties they could attend.
I believe there's a keg there, and it was reported that Sam had 1 or 2 shots of tequila at that party.
Sam and her friend continued to move from party to party, watching the football game and enjoying the drinks they were offered. If anyone seemed concerned that Sam was well under the legal drinking age, there is no evidence of it. While there are varying accounts of how much she had to drink, we know that at this point she'd had beer and tequila, but otherwise seemed okay.
In the back of my mind, I think Sam is always such a competitor-driven that maybe if they were passing around the bottle, if you can do it, I can do it type. Maybe that's a little bit of a personality hurt her.
Around midnight, Sam and her friends had drifted over to the Sigma Pi frat house. Sam was well known among the young men who lived here, and a small but intense party was raging on into the morning.
So we usually have about 10 hours of alcohol consumption, with the heaviest alcohol consumption, according to who she was with and witnesses, being at the time at the frat house from approximately midnight to 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Statements given to the Fort Collins Police Department describe a long episode of heavy binge drinking, with a large bottle of vanilla-flavored vodka being passed around. People in adjacent rooms said they heard loud music, and people chanting and urging each other to guzzle more vodka, straight from the bottle.
And following that, she had gone out to the front porch of the fraternity house. Myrna had suggested to her that maybe they should just walk over to the dorms and Sam could sleep there. And as Sam got up to walk with Myrna, that is when she fell backwards. And as they leaned over and asked her if she was okay, she mumbled something that was inaudible to them.
Two of the boys from the frat house carried Sam into a spare room they called La Boom Boom Room. They left her there on a couch to sleep it off. Even as Sam was losing consciousness, the levels of alcohol in her bloodstream continued to rise. Her friend Myrna checked on her before going home and thought she was okay.
When she was checked on and was breathing shallow, basically her body was losing its ability to function, the brain to tell the body what to do. She needed to be transported right away to a hospital, Pooh Valley Hospital in our case.
And it's at that time that we feel very strongly that had Sam gotten the medical attention that she needed, that her life would have been saved. But instead she was put into a room to sleep it off.
No one else bothered to check on Sam after that. 12 hours later, the body of the 19-year-old was found on the floor of that room as a young fraternity member gave a tour of the house to his mother. Analysis by the Larimer County Coroner's Office determined her blood alcohol level was a staggering 0.43.
If your blood alcohol level gets above 0.3, 0.35, there's a high risk that you're going to go into coma. When you go into coma, the respiratory center of your brain is actually so depressed that your respiratory system is no longer functioning properly. That results in complete respiratory arrest and death.
The dozens of drinks Sam had consumed, multiplied by that final bout of binge drinking, among a group of young achievers, there had been a fatal lapse of judgment.
But I have to go back to the heavy concentration she did in the last few hours of her life. Shot after shot, gulp after gulp of vodka, that just compounded the alcohol that had metabolized out that led to her death.
Sam's funeral in Beatrice packed the pews of the United Methodist Church there, the size of the audience a testament to her growing prominence and the impact her death had on the small town. In trying to understand what had happened, the family, authorities, and the community chose to assign blame to no one person other than Sam. Her death is understood as the tragic mistake of an individual.
We all make mistakes, miscalculations of judgment. Sam made one Labor Day weekend that poisoned her body until it died. She did not intend to do that. Those who were with her, if there was anybody with her this past weekend, did not intend for this ending of a life. Her death is truly an unintended tragedy.
And I feel very, a lot of times you feel bad about yourself because your future, I keep thinking, I was looking so forward to working with her or having a family or kids or just, her being able to watch out for me when I get older and Patty gets older. But it's kind of selfish, really, because she's the one that lost her life.
I remember dreaming about Sam, and I remember being awoken by, oh my gosh, this is horrible, my daughter's dead. And waking up and thinking, oh, thank goodness that was just a dream. But then once I was awake, I realized that, no, she didn't die in a car wreck, but she's gone.
When you come down from your senses, if you ever stop feeling blue, it won't come from the loss of your consciousness. I'll be there when you're getting through. Now there's never been a lack of strangers on the bus staring back at you.
Among Sam's most immediate family, it seems it's Patty who's still most visibly affected by her daughter's death. This may speak to a connection that is unique among mothers and daughters, or that much of the job of raising Sam and spelling out the boundaries about alcohol and risk-taking was hers.
I think of Sam on at least a daily basis, and most days much more than that. But time does heal all wounds. I mean, you do her smile. There's some good memories.
One of the things Sam is best remembered for is the series of drawings she'd made in the years before her death. Sketches that show a growing artistic talent as she captured the things she saw around her growing up in Beatrice. But there are also images that seem to be about a more urban, sophisticated setting. Perhaps the reflection of a young woman looking to spread her wings beyond what she already knows and to fit in somewhere else.
Sam Spady, she fell into an environment and a culture that she wasn't familiar with. And a lot of college kids aren't familiar with. A lot of kids drinking at that age or even younger aren't familiar with what goes on. They're not
they move to a new place, they meet new friends, and they get the peer pressure that happens. Sam Spady did get drunk. She did become drunk, but I wouldn't classify her as a drunk that all of us would see stereotypically.
The rough estimate is that there are 1,400 campus deaths in the United States every year caused by alcohol poisoning. In most cases, it seems this danger was totally unforeseen by the families, not aware of the intensity and scope of college drinking culture.
I talked about alcohol, but I never talked to her about you could actually die from drinking too much. And that's what we have to live with daily. I regret that, obviously.
In the months after Sam's death, the topic of deadly binge drinking became a high-profile one on network television news, and Rick and Patty made the rounds, getting out their message of prevention and survival while they had the media's often fickle attention. Despite the ongoing nature of the problem, it's a topic that seems to fluctuate in prominence, seemingly driven by the newsworthiness of the latest tragedy.
If you can't loosen up and have a good time without drinking, then I think there's an issue there. So,
if there is a force running against the culture of binge drinking, it may be coming from some of the students themselves. Following Sam's death, the fraternity house she died in was decertified by its parent organization. The building has now been taken over by a Christian student group called the Lighthouse.
A lot of college students get to college and, all of a sudden they're free to have however much they want, whenever they want it.
Audra Cooper is one of the new residents here. She is not a drinker, and she has her own theories about the messages young women are sent about alcohol.
Makes it look like if you drink, then you're beautiful, you're sexy, you're skinny, you're, all these different things that women in society today want to be.
The rewarding taste of Michelob Ultra. Perfectly balanced and made for today. Live life to the ultra.
It's false advertising, basically. It doesn't show the bad aspects of drinking. It doesn't show the, the vomiting afterwards or, going home with the wrong person and, what could happen if, anything happens to that person, after effects of that. It just doesn't show any of that stuff that is a very common factor with drinking.
The room Sam died in has been turned into a place for rest and meditation. Excerpts from the Bible are hung on the walls, and students at the Lighthouse come here for quiet and to study. It may say something about modern college culture, that it seems to take the devout and the religious to offer any alternative to the party scene, as though there is little middle ground today.
There's people that have such a focus on whether or not their school is one of the top party schools. Well, every university is a party school, really. That's kind of what it is.
Rick and Patty are determined to make their daughter's death mean something. The Sam Spady Foundation was created to educate young students about the danger of binge drinking and the culture of alcohol that faces college kids today.
And I think the liquor's different. I think the ads are different. I think they're targeted towards younger people. And with the flavored types of alcohol, it's easier to drink. I think girls are getting involved in it. I don't remember the girls partying like they seem to be now and involved in a lot of the college scene.
So really the key is when somebody reaches a point that you become concerned, you probably should have been concerned before that. So we need to teach ourselves to become concerned a lot sooner than what we've taught ourselves to sleep it off. It just doesn't work anymore, not with the intense binge drinking that's going on. That's the big concern that I have.
If we can prevent that from happening, one child, their parents, just one, I think it's worth it.
Sam and others like her just got wrapped up in it. Some have survived and some haven't. It's a sad story that might come out with helping somebody later.
And, nobody should ever have to die from alcohol poisoning. And I just want them to, I'm not trying to kill your college experience. I just want you to survive it. And watch out for each other.
But there's this girl you ought to know. She's the prettiest girl in the whole wide world. She'll always bring a smile to your face. She has a twinkle in her eye, always laughs, never cries. She's a little bit quiet, a little bit shy. That's the prettiest girl in the whole wide world. Now she's way up in that sky, smiling down and helping us by. I just can't stand it, I don't know why. The toughest things in life make us stronger, I'm told. It just takes some time to heal that old soul. And that's what I've been told. It hurts so much I wanna break down and cry, but I'm gonna get by, I'm gonna survive. I know she's gonna be there to help me along. She had the time of her life and she touched so many. She can make you feel better without a dime or a penny. She'd always say, I'm sorry, I say that's okay. I'll remember always and I never will forget the times we spent together or the day we met. She was the prettiest girl in the whole wide world. She was the prettiest girl in the whole wide world.